Today I'm making a lighthouse from outdoors. Most of this came from the Dollar Tree. This cone did, these foam brushes, craft glue, both red and brown paint, and this little bit of rope. And these beads are going to become lobster buoys. Well, I'm going to get some round toothpicks I'm going to glue inside of the center of some of these, not all of them, but some of them. The only thing I did not get from Dollar Tree was paint, this white paint, because they didn't have any, so I had to go to Walmart to get that. What I'm going to do, I've already pre-peeled the label a little bit. Take this label right off. Discard it, you don't need it. Tools, I got tools. You will need a drill, preferably with a step bit, which is what I'm going to use. To drill right down through the center of this hole. And I'll do that before I paint it. This came from Walmart too, is a outdoor solar light. It's going to sit right on top of the lighthouse cone. And this is long enough that you can secure it right to the ground through the opening. So let me get my drill out. I'm using a step drill bit. I don't know if it's going to be big enough to fit that. I might have to cut it a little bit with a knife. Where's my cord? What's that? Oh, it's over here. There it is. I don't think that's going to be big enough. No, it's not. So what I'm going to do is see if I can't graduate it a little bit by walking it back and forth like that. You want to just channel it out so it's big enough to fit. Just keep doing that until this thing goes in. Still got a little bit ways to go. Right where the curl is, right here, is what I want to take off. That looks pretty good. Let's try that. And it fits. There it is. That's why you need to stain the base so this doesn't flop over. Now, the next step, let me get this stuff out of here. Get your cheap white spray paint. Probably should have gotten a primer coat on this first. I didn't buy any primer, but just keep putting it on until the orange has disappeared. The bottom you don't have to really worry about because I'm going to paint that in brown. Dollar store paint. It's a little bit windy out here today, so it's paint's not going on very well. What I'm going to do, probably, is just get a base coat on it and let it dry. And then come back out and put another one on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop right now. Put you on pause, boys and girls. It's upside down. Whoopsie. As you can see, I spray painted my the cone white. Instead of painting it brown like I said on the base, I just took some dirt from my driveway and sprinkled it over the wet paint to make it look like sand from a beach. Hopefully that'll let that dry and hopefully it'll adhere to the base. And then I'll decorate it with some of this rope. And those beads are going to become buoys. And I'll get some paint brushes, foam paint brushes. I'm going to paint red stripes on the cone. And right now I get my light charging in the sunlight. And that's it for right now, I guess. And wait, I'll come back later and show you what it looks like. Now that once your paint is fairly dry and the sand did pretty well, it shook off the excess. That's what was left up behind. And I did forget to mention you need scissors or a sharp knife, which I have both. And you will need either a black marker, like a Sharpie, or electrical tape. What you're going to do is make a doorway leading inside of the lighthouse and a few windows around that, maybe like in a spiral around the outside of the lighthouse. I'm thinking I might try the tape, the pen first, the marker, see what it looks like. Find your most attractive looking side to start the doorway. I'm going to use this side because it's got pebbles in it. So you put a little small door right here. I don't know if the tape's good. I might use the tape. This is not coming off very well. Yeah, I'm going to use the tape. Oops. So what I'll do is take a little bit of tape, strip off a piece, several pieces. And those scissors I got are the dullest things on earth. I've used them for cutting wire and all kinds of other stuff that you shouldn't be using scissors for. And if the kids, are you going to be doing this, making one of these, have your parents help you with the cutting. Knives and scissors aren't very forgiving. You can get hurt pretty badly. Now, I didn't do a perfect job, but whatever. Put your my scissors weren't cutting very well. Put in your windows with black electrical tape is what I used. The marker didn't really work. I got a smudge there if you can see that, but like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Take a sharp knife, and this is Dollar Tree craft glue. You just cut a little thing out of the bottom, off the tip, I mean. It's got a little thing on the side here that you can use to cover up your tip when you're not using the glue. Keep it from drying out. But what you want to do now, once that's done, you put your windows on, you take this nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and you want to take it out. Well, you could cut this plastic thing here, but I'm not going to. nautical rope from Dollar Tree, from their craft section. Then what you do is, after you get all the rope uncoiled out of this plastic zip tie thing they got on there. I don't know why they put that on, but oh well. Take your rope and line it up, preferably the tape end, the back side of it. Line it right up around the base of your cone. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure you got enough. I'm going to cut it here. I'm not going to use those scissors. Those scissors never cut this. Always better to make it a little bit longer than short, too short. Huh. Even these scissors, this knife isn't even doing it. No. I know damn well this scissors won't do it. Better than a knife, though. Take your rope, and now you can get a better idea of what. Just wrap it around the base loosely, and then you can cut it to length, which would be, I'm going to cut it right about there. And I don't know what kind of rope this is, but sometimes if you take a lighter, you can melt the fray. I don't know if this is going to work, this kind of rope. No, I didn't. So then, you take your glue, and you put a pretty hefty bead along the edge of your base. I bought 2 of these bottles because I didn't know how much was it going to last. So I got 2 instead of just buying 1. So I didn't have to go back to buy more. Always get more than what you need when you start something. That way you'll have it. You don't have to stop and then go back to town and buy more. I always buy extra stuff. And if I don't need it, I can always take it back as long as I still have the receipts. Okay, that's enough glue, I think. Put the cap back on. I think that 1 bottle was enough. But with Dollar Tree, they don't give cash back on returns. It's all credit, which kind of sucks, but that's how they work. Just kind of loosely wrap the rope over the glue. Let that dry. I don't know how long this takes to dry, but I'm going to let it dry for quite a while. And if you have excess like I do here, you can just put a little bit of glue on the thing and wrap it. Which is what I'm going to do right now. Just put a little bit of glue right beside the rope. Yeah, 1 bottle is just enough. Press it down good and get it on the base. Don't let it come off the base. Press it down so it stops moving around. if you have to, just push it towards the cone. And these are the buoys I made. Just round toothpicks with beads. I left a little bit stuck out of each of them, like this, like a little tail sticking out. I'm going to glue them to the, but once I finish painting the rest of that, I'm going to glue these to the side of the lighthouse. And I guess I'm going to let that dry. Could have used some clothesline clips to keep the rope on there, but oh well. Live and learn. This is a project I just thought of a couple days ago and decided to try it. Never made one before, so. And now, let me get by this chair. No room between the chair and the tripod. Holy smokes. Now what I'm going to do is take my red Dollar Tree paint. I don't have a good spot. I didn't bring a mixing tray out here, so I'm just going to put it on a board. Squirt some paint out on the board. And then my Dollar Tree foam brushes. I'm going to take out the smallest width I can find, which is this one. Probably an inch wide. And what I'm going to do is just 2 areas of painting red. Painting red where this band is. And I'm going to paint red up here on the top of the cone, just so I can cover up my little smudge mistake. So, I'm going to grab it from the base, put a little bit of paint on the brush, maybe kind of, I don't want it too gloppy. Let me see if I can do this without. It needs to be a little bit heavier. Try to make it as even as possible. Well, this glue is not really. Of course, I put it over sand too, so maybe that was a mistake. Doing this top part freehand is going to be tougher because I got no line to follow. The band on the right there is going to be easier because it's got a guide. This may take more than one coat. Yeah, it's going to probably take 2. That glue is still pretty messy. It's not even tacked up yet. Probably should have waited. But anyway, squirt out some more paint. And I'll get back to you when it's done, when I show you what I did. And that's what it looks like now. That's all the red I'm going to put on it. Just those areas. Doesn't really need much, just a couple areas to decorate it. And then the next step, the last step, take my craft glue and put these buoys on it, on the lighthouse. Just a little bit of glue. Don't really have to trim off the toothpicks. Come on. There you go. Just throw a few of those down. Any old random places that you feel like it needs one. I only got 5. So these beads I bought from Dollar Tree had 5 packages of green, red, and purple, and yellow, and blue. So I just used 5, one of each kind. You don't have to be exact with this. You just throw some glue on it, throw them down, and let them dry. Now, it's just sit and wait and let everything dry up. Let everything get dry. I'll show you what it's going to look like. Let me step in front of the camera for a second. This is what it's going to look like with the top on it. Of course, that's not going to set very well without using, you have to use this. This will stick in the ground, and then you can put the light inside of this little wand. That's what it looks like. That's my Dollar Tree combination Walmart lighthouse solar lamp. Thank you. Subscribe for more. Ended up deciding to glue this on with my craft glue because this part of the light fixture wouldn't fit down through the center of that. It was too round, too big, and it was too short as well. So I decided just to glue that on there. Hopefully it'll work. I don't know. If that glue doesn't work, I could always use epoxy or something whenever I get some. But that was the update. And like I said before, Jbbushcraft out. Subscribe for more.